You know that strange wave of relief that hits you when someone cancels plans with you? Your phone lights up with a message that says, "Sorry, I can't make it tonight." Most people would feel disappointed reading that. But if you're someone who genuinely enjoys staying home, something very different happens inside you. Your shoulders relax, the invisible pressure of the evening disappears, and suddenly your time feels like it has been quietly returned to you. If that reaction feels familiar, there's a good chance people misunderstand you. They assume you're antisocial or lazy, or that you're somehow avoiding life. But what's actually happening inside your brain is something very different. You're protecting something most people slowly drain without realizing it. Picture this. It's Friday night. Outside, the world is still buzzing somewhere in the distance. Cars pass by, people move between restaurants and crowded rooms, conversations overlap, music spills out of open doors. But inside your home, the atmosphere feels completely different. The lights are softer, the noise is controlled, and your body slowly settles into a rhythm that actually feels natural. For the first time all day, nothing is demanding your attention. You don't have to read people's expressions, react to every conversation, or constantly adjust yourself to match the energy in the room. And in that quiet moment, something subtle happens inside your mind. It finally exhales. Psychologists often explain this through something called stimulation sensitivity. Some nervous systems simply process the world more intensely. Every conversation, every background sound, every shift in someone's tone requires a small amount of mental energy. Most people barely notice these signals, but your brain quietly absorbs all of them. You notice the change in someone's voice, the tension between two people across the table, the overlapping conversations happening nearby. Even when you're enjoying the moment, your mind is still processing the entire environment, and that constant input slowly drains your mental battery. Home does the opposite. The signals fade, the noise settles, your mind finally has space to slow down instead of constantly reacting. But there's another layer to this that most people rarely think about. When you're home, you're not performing. Outside, even in subtle ways, people adjust themselves to fit the room. They choose their words carefully, monitor reactions, and maintain a version of themselves that works socially. At home, that performance disappears. You sit how you want, think what you want, and move at your own pace. And that freedom does something powerful to the mind. It creates space for reflection. This is why people who enjoy staying home often develop unusually rich inner worlds. When the noise disappears, your thoughts begin connecting in ways they simply can't when the environment is constantly demanding your attention. Ideas form, emotions settle, and problems quietly untangle themselves in the background. From the outside, it can look like you're doing nothing, but internally, your mind is reorganizing itself. And here's the paradox most people miss. The more comfortable you become with your own company, the less dependent you feel on constant stimulation. You stop meeting crowds to feel alive, and you stop needing constant activity to feel fulfilled. And that can confuse people who rely on social energy to define their sense of meaning. They see isolation, but what's actually happening is independence. Because when you're alone, you're not trying to impress anyone, chase approval, or perform for the room. You're simply existing as you are. And in a world that constantly demands attention, noise, and performance, that ability is surprisingly rare. So maybe the real shift is this. You're not someone who avoids the world. You're someone who understands how to step outside its noise long enough to hear your own mind again. And once you experience that kind of quiet clarity, crowded rooms stop feeling as necessary as they once did. If this kind of quiet clarity makes sense to you, hit subscribe to join our circle. But I'm curious, when plans get canceled, do you secretly feel relieved? Or are you usually the one hoping they will be? Let me know in the comments.